Constables, do it for Yorkshire!
I love Sean Bean. His character in Time is a fantastic little 3 or 4 part. If you haven't already seen it on BBC, Time has got Mr. Stephen Graham in there as well. He plays this very sort of vulnerable older teacher. All right, boss. It is so good. It's brilliant. I've got this weird thing whereby I get really upset if I see men in particular on their own eating. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe other people share that same sadness. I have to go over and go, "Are you all right, mate?" Great weekend at the Arnolds. Very humbling experience. I've never seen any NEC like that in my entire life. Me and Josh went to go and grab our tickets on the Friday on the booth. Weren't supposed to be there until Saturday, and then we were there for about 3 hours. Just crowd of people. It was like I said, it's very humbling. I appreciate every single one of you coming over to say hi. I think we've got another body player on the cards next year. Saturday night, Samson and the Asher battling out. Fucking hell, that was good. Joe was there, and I could feel the electricity through the stream. You had Samson's very moving, emotional tribute to John, and then you got the Asher, "Books him alone." I just thought, this is great. Phoebe as well has been working with Gigi, producing some amazing content on her channel. Shane looked great at Classic as well. Great weekend, very good weekend. Someone reached out and said, "Have you started reading Sally Rooney's new book yet?" And I said, "No, I haven't." So I picked it up at the train station, a few chapters in. I was confused. I was like, "What are you doing here, Sally?" Because Alice, the character Alice, said she'd got back from New York, and then I knew Marianne went to New York. I was like, what's going on here? I'm not thinking like that. It's a completely new book. But yeah, really good. What else? Weight 93.3, 93.4. So we're down a key in 2 weeks, which is perfect. Aiming for that 0.5 key per week. So we're bang on the money. Got chest and triceps later on the tees. I want to kind of pull back on my caffeine a little bit. So out goes the morning coffee, in goes a cup of tea. And then our caffeine hit, I know it's got caffeine in there, but it's not as much as coffee. And our caffeine hit will be pre-workout. So I'll have a tea, edit some videos, take Gunnar for a walk, and then I'll see you for meal number 1. We're switching things up this breakfast on this full day of eating. I'm getting a little bit bored of my egg white omelette and bacon, so we're going to go for some bacon medallions with scrambled egg on sourdough with some smashed avocado. And then we'll have some crunchy nut granola and some skyr vanilla 0% fat yogurt. Right, we're back. We're back logbooking chest and triceps today. Let me just pull up my YouTube so I can have an overview of the timeline. So the FitX was about three or 4 months ago now. We had the PCA as well. And I went to Marbella a couple of times, and I said to myself at that point, I really wanted to pull back, not only from a kind of business standpoint and kind of ease off a little bit. I felt like I haven't really ever had that true break. I came off Instagram for 7 days. I plan on doing that more frequently because I think it's fantastic for the mind psychologically, and I also wanted to implement that particular relaxation in my training and nutrition. So you could say my training and nutrition in the last couple of months over the course of summer has been fairly intuitive. Now I would like to do a video in more detail on intuitive eating because I think it's a topic and an area that needs more education on. I think giving Gen Pop clients or individuals that have very little education when it comes down to calorie or macro tracking the ability to emotionally eat, I think it's a recipe for disaster. If you've got your head screwed on and you've had experience kind of eyeballing foods and experience through deficits and off seasons of understanding nutrition, then intuitive eating is relatively okay with you, especially if you're tracking your scale weight each day and your whole goal is just to maintain. You can even eyeball your own physique in the mirror, and that's what I did at one point. I didn't weigh my food, I didn't kind of logbook or progressively overload, and I didn't weigh my weight either for a couple of weeks, and it was really nice. It took me a week or two psychologically to detach and feel relaxed with what I was doing. My goal was to maintain. I didn't really need to apply too much stimulus to my body over the duration of the week, and I'll link the video above where I talk about volume and kind of determining maintenance volume. But it was essentially very minimal in the sense that if I had chest and triceps on Monday, I would know that I've got 8 sets for chest and 8 sets for triceps. Within that session, the exercises could vary. I could drop sets, triple sets, I could do supersets, the ability to jump in with a session with Josh or go down to 7R with Joe. It was really nice. It was a very, very nice phase, but I think it's very much goal dependent, right? And my goal throughout summer was to enjoy myself. And now that we're going into kind of December, we've got this little period whereby I can flick back on and I can get back into logbooking and progressively overloading and tracking foods. And I think that's when you reach true balance is when you're comfortable with pulling completely back, and when you feel like it's time to do so, you can jump back into that particular tracking mindset. And I'm going to spend the next 8 or so weeks logbooking. And then come December, what you will notice in December is a very similar approach to summer. It's Christmas. A lot of things are opened up now, which is fantastic. And you'll see that my training will go from not logbooking and just going in and applying a certain amount of volume to each body part throughout the week, intuitively eating. Don't really mind too much. The whole point of this Santa Shred is to allow me and put myself in a position whereby I can eat a little bit more during Christmas. And I'll run and I'll essentially utilize that food. You know, food is fuel. And if I can go through December with a slight increase in calories, I'll be utilizing that from a strength perspective in the gym, possibly even in sort of semi-logbooking and tracking bigger lifts and then being relatively lax on accessory movements. So I'll be doing that for December and January. Then come February the 1st, we have the second installment of the Ibiza Classic. We go even bigger, more clients, more prizes. We have a photo shoot at the end. I think this year's Ibiza Classic was slightly dampened because of COVID, but I really want to pump a lot of content around it in the second one, which I'm really looking forward to. So there's just a little insight into how I felt with intuitively eating and training this summer. I think it's once you kind of do nail it, then I think you have kind of reached that true balance, and it's just now at this point that I am looking to start logbooking again.
I wake up, and my girl ain't the same. Every time I'm smoking.
Post-workout salad. This salad is from Tesco. It's got like the edamame beans in, so I used a 7-spice seasoning on the chicken and create like a Chinese style chicken salad, which is really nice. Quick, easy, 3:15. I'll eat this and I'll be back to work until about 6 o'clock. All right, folks, let's clear up a few kind of queries that I get on a regular basis with regard to these sort of heart rate data tracking, Polars, Apple Watches, Fitbits, Oura Rings, Whoops. And I think coaches can agree as well that every time we've got an updated software version or an updated piece of tech, which gives us a greater ability to track our output, it just creates and causes more confusion. And what I mean by that is far too many of us are fixated on what these things are telling us, in the sense that you know, I've had clients say, "Oh, Tom, I've burnt a few more calories today than usual. My Apple Watch tells me that. Do I eat them back?" No. We don't want to put ourselves in a position whereby these devices are dictating what we eat. The calorie deficit creates probably a very large portion of the pie for fat loss and weight loss. In goes your step count that you shoot for per day, and in goes cardio if you want to increase the deficit a little bit more. But utilizing these things should be but very basic. They shouldn't dictate or control us. Now, the Polar H10, I recently purchased this. I think in terms of the data and tracking and feedback it gives from a calorie tracking perspective in sessions, the sessions I'm referring to are my cardio HIIT sessions, my WODs, are a little bit more detailed than the Apple Watch. This is the Polar Beat app. So I use that on Wednesdays and Sundays. I don't wear this every day, for example. Elite HRV to check heart rate variability, also very good on this. That's all I'd use it for. The Apple Watch, all I use for is steps and a stopwatch. Could I purchase something slightly cheaper? Yeah, but I'm an Apple whore and I give into consumerism, so it's my own fault really. But I shoot for my steps on here, and during my sessions, if I've got like 60 seconds rest, for example, stopwatch, shoot for 60 seconds and I'm done. I don't get to the end of every day and go, right, my rings told me I've done that, right, oof, I can have 200 more calories. It doesn't work like that. I really want us to get out of that particular mindset. James Smith did a very good post on it, kind of referring to these things, or not looking at these things like a hamster wheel, and if we do more, we can eat more food back. So that's just a little section on these things. Just really to kind of, I don't like going from meal to meal to meal, so that's why I thought I'd talk about these things.
Alone, me and your girl on the phone. I lay down, feel you in my veins. I wake up, and my girl ain't the same. Every time I'm smoking on that low, me and your girl.
Dinner and bath done. I feel like I need to optimise my sleep a little better. It's been quite poor recently, and one of those areas to improve in that is one, routine, keeping that circadian rhythm happy. Instagram's down tonight, which is a bonus. And another area for me is just being consistent with supplementation. And I find that the PM priming gives that desired kind of drowsiness effect. So I have this half an hour before bed. The time now is 10 to 9, so I want to be in bed by about 10. So I have this half an hour, 45 an hour before bed, and my next meal is my oats. In the proats is the Perform chocolate brownie batter. Switching up the dark chocolate, we're going green and blacks. Little banana, little blueberry, and some honey in there as well. I'm a little down on my carbs, so got some organic mango in there. Some organic dried mango. It's cold, isn't it? I like it. I put the heating on yesterday. You know, that heat and smell. I was like, oh, Christmas. Hope you enjoyed the first instalment of full day of eating of this Santa Shred, 2,600 calories. That number will most certainly drop over the next 8 weeks, so we get nice and diced. So come December, in goes the red wine, plenty of crisps, cheese, nuts. You know, like that family on Gogglebox that constantly has some sort of cake on display. That's what I'm doing this December. I'm doing this cut so I can really enjoy myself in December. But like I said on the voiceover, I would be using that food and look at increasing my strength in December and January, and then February the 1st, the biggest, I mean there's only ever been one, but the biggest Ibiza Classic yet. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's opened up by then, so more clients, more prizes, more content, photo shoot. I'm going to try and speak to Philip and get like fortnightly DEXA scans like every other Monday to see like changes in body fat. I'm like looking forward. That's going to be a big cut. It's going to be like the first serious cut that isn't competing. So that'll be good. And we can all have a photo shoot at the end. Okay, I'll see you later. What we've got going. I think we have, oh yeah, blood work. We'll run through our blood work on Friday's episode. See you later. Thanks for watching. Thank you, good night. Much love.